let's revisit that Nightmare on Elm Street movie idea. Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be another Nightmare on Elm Street video. Now this is going to be also related to my last Dark Theories video, which this will probably fall under that banner as well, since I'm going to be expanding the idea for the story for a new Nightmare on Elm Street sequel. Now like I said before, this is going to take the Blumhouse approach to A Nightmare on Elm Street, erasing every sequel after part 1. So without further ado, let the games begin. The film starts with the silhouette of a woman walking down the same wet tunnel that we saw Tina walking down in the beginning of the first film back in 1984. The woman continues on, exploring the now seemingly withered, old, cold boiler room, now shown to be even wearing the same white nightgown as Tina. The woman approaches a large furnace where she can hear the screeching sound of Freddy's claws against the iron. Peeking in through an opening, the woman sees eyes staring back at her with an intense anger, and a voice is heard in a deep, serious tone. Nancy. It's revealed that the woman is indeed a much older Nancy, who has seemingly kept Freddy in prison ever since their last encounter, where she took his strength by turning her back on him and showing she's not afraid, inadvertently giving Nancy the ability to shape the dream world however she wanted, and everything in it, including Freddy himself. Taking away his burned visage and replacing it with his human appearance, Freddy is now much older due to his imprisonment within Nancy's dream world, aging as she does with no one's fear to fuel him. However, this last visit is different. Freddy can feel the fear coming off of Nancy this time, but she's not afraid of Freddy. She's dying, and soon. And she's afraid of what Freddy may do if her plan to keep Freddy captive and aging until he dies doesn't work. And he's once again free to kill a new generation of children. Freddy will taunt Nancy, saying he can feel her losing her grip. Nancy will ultimately succumb to her fear, inadvertently recharging Freddy enough to allow him to break free from his furnace prison, until she has a heart attack and dies as Freddy smiles. He refuses to let Nancy's soul pass on, wanting to torture her in her own dream prison as she sits helpless and bearing witness to the future atrocities to come. 6 months will go by as Freddy will regain his power little by little by chipping at the fear of a new group of teenagers, the now grandchildren of Elm Street, until one night he invades the dreams of another young teenage girl in the same alley he appeared to Tina in, while stretching his arms. This time, Freddy is much more direct, first letting his shadow be seen at the end of the alley, similar to what he did with Tina. Only this time, when the girl turns to run, she runs into the blades of Freddy's glove. This time, however, the overwhelming fear and the murdering of the teenager begins to de-age Freddy, making him look younger as his burns begin to reappear. Freddy then will begin to murder multiple teenagers throughout this story, as Nancy is forced to watch, and Freddy taunts her as with every scream and kill, he grows younger and more powerful. At some point in the story, the final girl will discover Nancy in the furnace prison from the beginning of the film, and Nancy will be released. She will tell the final girl how to take Freddy's power away before passing on and leaving the dream world forever. The final confrontation with Freddy will play out with Freddy and the final girl face to face, with the girl using the information provided by Nancy to turn her back on Freddy, only to hear Freddy's laugh, and saying how Nancy didn't tell her the cost of what she's trying to do, telling her about the constant strain Nancy was feeling from holding him for all of that time, knowing that the moment you lose your grip, I'll split you in two. The final girl hesitates and seemingly wakes up to a bright morning and being greeted by all of her thought to have been dead friends. As they open the front door and leave for school, the final girl walks through the doorway and into the furnace prison, as Freddy closes the door behind her, smiling, locking her in the dream world as he takes control of her physical body with plans to rekindle his Springwood slasher killing spree once again while humming the familiar nursery song. And that's it, guys. That's my brief Nightmare on Elm Street possible sequel, reboot, timeline kind of story. It's not as in-depth as my Friday the 13th one, since I used a lot of comic book elements in my Friday the 13th one, and this is more so just running with an original concept that I thought up myself. Maybe pulling some little elements from the other films, like Nancy being able to control the dream world, similar to the Dream Masters in Part 4. Even the cold boiler room, because Freddy's presence is locked away. That's again coming from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. But let me know what you guys think. Would you want to see this on screen, maybe fleshed out a little bit better with someone with a little bit more writing experience than me? Or would you like the story as is, just maybe the final girl actually being named instead of just being called the final girl? Or would you want to see something completely different? Comment below and be sure to like, share, and subscribe, as well as hitting the notification bell to be alerted whenever a new video is uploaded. And if you want to join my commentary streams, from what I hear, they're a lot of fun. And as always, I am JG Darhk, and thanks for watching.